beware. You are now entering the KPLS show.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the KPLS show. I am Kung Fu Panda, sitting here with
your boy Land Shark, your cryptic killer. Good evening, y'all. How y'all doing this afternoon? You can see we're outside on the compound today, having the first bonfire of the year. Yeah, it's smoldering. We got some smoke going. We got a little fire in there.
So this is our first outdoor episode, folks. So
of the year.
You get to see some of the most of the compound.
A little bit of the backdrop. You see the old truck that we used to have. That is not the everyday truck. She still runs. We use it for some training purposes to get in and out of some bad spots, and then we use it for how to work cover, how to export, how to get in and out of things. Just another training prop for the KPLS boys and getting the things done on an everyday basis. Boy, how you been?
Buddy, I've been good. Now I'm going to sit here and tease something new. I got a new weapon adding to the arsenal coming soon in the next few weeks.
And I don't want to say a whole lot, but it's a bridge.
It's a bridge. We're bridging a gap from old to new.
So think of what you've seen so far with this man. You've seen AK-47. You've seen Mosin Nagant. And speaking of which, I was asked the other day by two great friends, hey, Kate, John, I appreciate y'all for watching. Is the Mosin going to be the primary weapon of Kung Fu Panda now?
Buddy, right now, I'm going to have to say yes.
So,
right
there
now.
we go. Right now, because I
know
he's saying right now because of what's coming down the pipe.
But then I get this new one, I get to test it out. Maybe we show us testing the new one out.
So,
speaking of which, don't you got something new to tell the folks?
Ladies and gentlemen, Ghost and Ghouls. After years and years and years of searching, your boy Land Shark has finally found his ultimate slasher handgun.
And it's pretty.
It's not completely done. It's a project. I will have it done for the end of the great month we are in. We have finally made it to the spooky month, October. I will have it done for the end of October. It will be coming on our very special slasher episode because it is a slasher gun. You got that pesky white-faced devil that won't leave you alone. It's going to get the trick done. When I get it completely done, it's going to be the equipment of the week that week, and it is going to be part of a new slasher belt that I'm creating. Some slasher equipment for those pesky won't go the way guys.
It looks nice. Stay tuned.
And let me tell you, it's a thumper. It is a thumper, and it's in the Glock family still.
Hey, I was hesitant when he told me, until he showed me, and hey, I'm close to having to join the family now.
Right.
I'm close.
So the argument continues. He's got his 1911. It's over here on the table. I've got my old Gen 3 Glock 22 right now. Mrs. Reliable on me. We're out here on the compound. We are going to have a pretty good episode. We got some movie talk we're going to talk about. But we're going to talk creature features. And as you can see, we're supposed to have a guest here. Hasn't showed up yet. Should be showing up any time. So...
You hear that?
Why does it sound like Boston? That's a little weird.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Especially being out here. Especially being out here outside.
What we're dealing with here is a complete lack of respect for the law.
Ladies and gentlemen, our brother, Mr. Big Rig Jake Brooks. Oh! We told you we're going to talk about creatures. We're going to talk about features. We got the very local creature feature himself, Big Rig Jake Break on tonight. What is up, my man?
How you doing, buddy? I heard a little bit.
Hey, welcome to the KPLS show again, brother. Hey, we're going to have a good one for y'all tonight. We plan to have fun. We're going to talk about some spooky stuff.
No, I think I'm all right.
A little K-Fade for you. Hey, it's all good. We're here. We're on the compound. We're coming at you live tonight. We're going to have a good time. What you been into, big man? Tell us about the Bettyville Beatdown. I seen a couple weekends ago. Yeah. How did that go? Was that a good show?
We had a good turnout there. Bettyville Beatdown. We had a good show at Appalachian Mountain Wrestling. I think it was the biggest crowd we've had in the last couple of years since we started running again. Everything, it looks like it's smooth sailing again. So coming back in, starting to get that flame going up again. Not to mention the flame in the back.
Hey, listen, we're having the first bonfire of the year. Yep. He's been to 1,000 up here. They've both been to a bunch. We got to have the fire going when we're out here. If it's 100 degrees, the fire is going to be going. It's starting to get a little prettier, starting to feel a little bit better. Yep. Like I said, we're in the month of October. brought the big man in for some creature feature tonight. We're still going to do we got the equipment of the week. We're going Blades tonight for equipment of the week. So we'll let you fill in. We'll fill in on that. So good show planned for y'all. Kung Fu man, what's up? Talking about creature features.
Okay,
we got our local creature on.
Local creature. So I don't know about you, but I'm a big fan of this genre.
Me
It's
too.
just something.
Very much so.
I think the '90s took it to the peak of the pinnacle of creature features.
Right,
Just
for sure.
the goofiness,
Yeah.
the craziness, the epicness of it, and then get like a lot of big time celebrities playing in these like really B-rated movies.
Right.
So I'm a big fan. I'm gonna go ahead and say my movie. It's my movie of the week, and it's probably one of my favorite creature features. It's Anaconda. That is a hilarious movie. Good kills. For one, you got a great cast in there.
Miss
You got-
Lopez.
You got that. You got I didn't know Owen Wilson was in it until I was paying attention.
Yeah,
to it
like
last
a
night.
young Owen
Oh,
Wilson.
young Owen Wilson.
I mean,
Of
that's
course.
as a kid, that was one of the first things I think I can remember seeing Owen in was Anaconda.
Yeah.
So
You got the legendary John Voight himself.
John Voight with one horrible accent.
Yes, very
bad
bad.
accent.
And then you got the great Ice Cube coming
Yes.
in. First
My
scene,
favorite rapper of
today's
all
going to
time.
be a great day.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
So
Good, man.
it was. And when it come along at a time, I think we looked at it 97.
Yep, 97.
A lot of cheesy flicks coming out in the mid 90s. You did have like the epic Scream come out and a few others, but this movie come out of nowhere.
Yep.
Do you remember where you was the first time you watched it, Big J?
I believe my dad took me back in the day when we had video stores. If you guys remember
Right, yeah.
If anybody remembers those,
VHS, it was a thing.
it was one of the movies that when it came out we ended up renting, and so I vividly remember that as a kind of childhood memory. Anaconda is definitely one of the first creature features, I guess you could say, that I remember as a child watching with my brother, my dad, and everybody at the house. And like you said, that's one of the best there is.
It probably had one of the most epic deaths I've seen in a
Voight
creature.
death?
At that time, for
the
sure.
Voight
Just
death,
getting wrapped around, squeezed, and swallowed whole.
Yeah.
I mean,
I would
come on,
say at that
guys.
time,
And-
that's definitely like a crazy thing.
And
for
as a
sure.
person that hates snakes anyway, dude, that was it was out there. It was a trip. And I mean, at the time, especially locally here in southeastern Kentucky, you didn't see a lot of stuff like that. Like big big snakes. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it come out like, that's a real thing. Those things are over there.
Yeah.
Like, they get to be 30, 35 foot long, right?
Yeah, that's back when you didn't have internet.
Yeah, you
and
didn't
Google
have the World
stuff,
Wide
so
Web.
stuff like that didn't exist.
You didn't have the
until you
interwebs.
seen it.
Yeah. So you know what? For its time period too, the mid '90s.
Yep.
Those graphics and the CGI was not
not
horrible.
bad.
Was not horrible. It could have been way worse. It was for what it was. Now I've not watched any of the sequels. I don't know if you guys have, but the original for me, man, part one, very good creature
Well,
feature.
it's one of those where you go from CGI with a little bit of puppetry adding onto there,
Right.
and animatronic, and then of course I've seen the sequels and it's full CGI, and you can tell it's awful.
Right.
It's like last, not comparing last week's episode where a certain sequel, Tremors, wanted to just destroy everything, but whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
So, that's a good creature feature. Let's stay in the '90s, and I want to say '90s, and this might even been in the 2000s, but it's something everybody knows. It was a goofy movie, but let's talk Lake Placid.
Lake Placid.
Lake Placid. I mean, there's a lot of people watched it. Now, I might be wrong on when this came out. I think it was probably early 2000s.
Yeah,
I don't think it was late 90s. I know Miss Betty White was still in it. So, good movie, man. Some good kills in that, and then I liked old dude's helicopter that was kind of like he had it crocked out or whatever. Another good creature feature. But now we're not just going to talk about these mutated monsters. We're going to take it back.
You're gonna have to.
Well, take it back. Take it back to the classics, because you got so many good creature features out there. You got your Gaijus and like your Godzillas, your Kongs.
Yep.
I watched one last night that they say is a kaiju. Was just Meg 2. thumbs down all the way around. I'll talk about that later on.
Save me from watching it. So
I'll give you some spoiler alerts. It was a horrible movie, and I will. It's going to be some spoilers because I'm going to talk about how they ripped off the ending of Jaws 2. I actually messaged him last night, really mad about it. I was like, man, I'm watching the Meg 2, and they just really ripped off Jaws 2. They really, really did. So there's some classic creature features. So you being the guest today, I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Man, honestly, one of my just to grow up in the era, you know, like you said, from CGI and stuff, the Godzilla 2000 movie. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you guys are a fan of it, but
I remember it.
like,
It came out.
It came out like right at the perfect time, and like with Jurassic Park and all that stuff, kind of during.
And that's the one with the Puff Daddy.
Yeah,
They put the money.
Yeah,
into that.
That was tough. Like you didn't realize it then, but now it's like, man. And they changed the whole Godzilla concept. Like that was the first Godzilla, I believe, was like a different Godzilla.
Different style, yeah. He definitely
Yeah.
didn't look like
So-
the Godzilla of today, or even the Godzillas of
the past.
the Asian.
So it was kind of like a different spin on it, and more, I guess, could you say Americanized? I don't know.
I would say that. I'd say more. Let's say it was a Western version of Godzilla.
So-
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, being a child and growing up on stuff like that, getting to see something like that was definitely.
And when it came out, that was, oh God, I remember that. I was in elementary school. That came out in the late '90s.
Yeah.
Showing my age a little bit there. But I love the soundtrack to that.
That's what. Yeah.
That's
kind of like that's one of the first movies that's like, had the soundtrack
Right.
with the movie, and it was like, man, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
And then there's some up and downs to me for that movie, but the scene where they're in Madison Square Garden and all the babies are running around and stuff was a pretty cool scene, man. So it had its good features to it, and it come at a time where it hit right.
Yeah,
it hit right,
definitely.
and hit it right at the right time.
Yeah.
All right, so Kung Fu.
Okay.
Put your creature feature out there. What is that go-to creature feature for you, brother?
The go-to creature feature.
Right.
Okay, I'm taking us way back. I'm taking us to late 40s to late 50s. Probably it's my first creature feature I ever saw,
Okay.
and I saw the Creature of the Black Lagoon.
All right.
Okay. It's an old movie. This is a slow burn. Okay, kind of like this fire we got back here, but
Throw a little wood on it.
Put a little
you're
wood
dealing
on
with
there.
a
fix
humanoid
that.
fish creature that just comes out, and it's not your typical movie where it's the evil, it's killing, it's out here attack, and it's really a misunderstood creature. And what the true evil in the movie is us as humanity. I mean, out there messing with it, and of course what he does is retaliate back. Well, it's a series. I've seen the Creature from the Black Lagoon in the Return.
There's
movie,
I was saying
the
there's
sequel.
several of
It's
them.
kind of epic for 1950s. They genetically mess with it and turn it to human.
Sorry, y'all.
Yep.
We
Oh,
just,
dear.
We just
Oh,
had a
dear.
gas run through here. Baby girl's going back there to see if her corn's back there.
Yeah.
She just come trotting through, didn't she? She didn't care one bit, boy. That's one thing I love about being out here. This happens all the time, so what y'all didn't see off screen.
Try to one up me on my entrance.
Yeah, she did, didn't she? Just a pretty little whitetail just come running through there. That's one of the greatest things about living up here, man. So, I'm sorry. Go ahead,
No,
brother.
but no, it's just, the thing about it was it's good. It's a different story. It's not that really the creature's just a misunderstood thing, and then we just misunderstood it to the point that it retaliates against us and causes this problem. And all it really trying to do is just go back home.
Right.
Technically, kind of what Godzilla, the original Godzillas were, but
Right.
for 1950s, just how the costume looked on that guy, it's pretty epic.
And then, to me, in those style of movies, you get better acting.
Yes.
And not
yes.
only that, you get a good story with it. And everybody's so infatuated with the Michael Bay blow 'em up,
Yep.
million dollar movies.
Yeah.
And then that's where they want to go to.
Yeah.
Like, to me,
Kind of spoiled now.
yeah, we're spoiled. We're
Yeah.
spoiled. We really are.
sure.
Like, I was talking to you and Stabs about it the other day when y'all had me on speakerphone. I, as a horror movie fan, really hate, and it was a creature feature, so I wanted to watch it. I really hate to say this, but I just finished the original John Carpenter's The Thing with the absolutely astonishing Kurt Russell. I don't care what anybody says, man. You put this guy in a movie that we film, he's going to act his ass off.
Yeah.
Like, I watched a movie a few months ago, Bone Tomahawk. That movie is out there, but you got Kurt Russell doing Kurt Russell, acting his ass off. So we are spoiled.
Yeah.
We don't. Character development's not a thing no more. Story's not a thing no more. We want today's era
Here's
wants
the main
gore
thing.
and money.
That onto your thing is you get those like not out there putting your face storylines out there. The end of the thing, who was the one infected and who was not?
Right.
Exactly. You
Right.
don't get that stuff that sits here. You're sitting there after the credits roll and it's like, what is going on? And I'm sitting there having to think about this.
Right.
So you don't get that no more.
And listen, very underrated. Well, not an underrated movie. It's definitely a cult classic.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people talk about it. Go watch that. John Carpenter's the
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
And then there was
Most
a remake.
definitely.
There was a remake that come out in the 2000s, man. And I've not got to watch it. Actually, your boy Landshark's starting his vacation. So there's going to be a lot of movie watching this week. So I'm definitely going to check out some things I've been meaning to watch. So from my perspective, I'm going a little corny. Now, you're talking to a guy that's got Bela Lugosi's last poster hanging up in his room. I'm a huge vampire fan. I'm a huge Frankenstein fan.
Yep.
Actually, me and the wife last night had a little date night and had a few beverages and watched the Benicio del Toro Wolfman.
It's really good.
Very good
Very good.
movie. Very good Wolfman movie. So that's another creature. But I'm coming at you a little bit different. I'm coming at you a little bit more corny. I'm coming at you with Brandon Fraser's The Mummy.
Oh.
All right, because The Mummy's definitely a creature. It's definitely been around since the 50s. You put it
Yep,
up back there
yep.
with the Loch Ness Monster, or
Yep.
the creature from the Black
Yep.
Lagoon. Put it back there with your Bela Lugosi Draculas. Put it back there with your Frankensteins. This movie, when it come out, everybody loved it.
Yeah.
And Brendan Fraser was that guy that everybody really
He
liked.
used to come
too.
up actor of the time.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, he was that heartthrob at the time, dude. He was that guy, and I loved. Part 1 and Part 2 were great movies.
Yeah.
Part 3 was a little bit of a letdown. Well, that was the Emperor's Tomb where there was
Yeah,
an
it was
Asian.
stretch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a little
Stretch.
bit of a letdown, but still a guilty pleasure for Landshark. But for me, dude, it was an epic adventure.
Oh yeah.
You had a really good villain, and you had that great protagonist and a hero in Brandon Fraser's character of Rick O'Connell.
Yep.
I love the fact that his wife ended up having a bloodline to the
Yep.
Hamanatra. Like, listen, I'm a freak over this movie. This is one of those movies we talked about it.
It's definitely like
Yeah, like I loved it. So for me, my go-to creature feature is always going to be The Mummy 1 and 2, because I mean we get to nerd out with that hero that
the
saves the day.
story, the whole story.
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
like just like you said, where everything comes together.
Yeah, and then we're all
It's just
three
like-
dads,
yeah.
so he gets to save his kid in part 2,
Yeah.
Yep.
saves the sexy woman in part 1. So I mean, it's got a little bit of everything, man. And as far as creature features go, to me, that's a really good one. And like y'all said, it come out at the time, dude, and when corny stuff was coming out, and it wasn't corny, but it was corny.
It was like the peak. It was the peak of it though, because
Yeah,
you're like, oh,
yeah.
we're actually getting a good film coming out. Of
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, and then like I remember watching it and being like, dude, if I was 12-year-old again, I'd be out in the yard playing this. This would be my Halloween
Hey,
costume right here.
Hey,
100%.
hey, I gotta prep. I gotta get my props out there. Let me stand up here because my boy, Brandon Fraser and O'Connell decides to come out there with 2 dual 1911s and throw down against some Egyptians.
Well, he had the dual 1911s, he had the dual 38s,
Yeah.
and then he had the Thompson, and then he had a 12 gauge. The
Yeah,
dude
that-
was packed and ready to sack, man. He had the weapons. So
Hey, it takes an American to go over there to bring the firepower back.
yeah, and I love the fact that that's what it was. One of my favorite scenes. You want to talk about the 1911s? One of my favorite scenes is when him and the chick was on the boat at the beginning of it. And he lays that bag down and unrolls it and then starts putting guns together. And she's like, "Oh, we need all this." He's like, "There's death out there, lady." I love that. Really, I love that scene. I really did. So, talking a little creature features. That was Optimus Prime just leaving. There's those UFOs. There's those UFOs. So while we were off camera earlier before we got started, we was all talking about creature features, this and that. And Big Jake brought up a great one. We talked about it last week. We're going to talk about it again this week. The movie Tremors.
Let's hear about it, Big Jake.
That's
Tremor, I mean,
'Cause I know you wanted to bring it up.
and why I got to step off screen for a little bit.
yeah, Tremors is like, I mean, that's one of the things too. Is like, where do you put it in as a creature feature? Because it is, right?
Yeah, it is.
With everything, that's kind of like what the basis of what we were talking about, and it's like those movies, man. Like just the ideals of them are out there.
Yeah,
like,
I understand.
So,
it's that
but they still have like the storylines, like we talked about, like
tying back
everything.
into
Yeah,
it. It's so corny.
Yeah.
But yet it's such a high quality film that goes up.
So it's just
And it's actually one of those. That's what Landshark will bring it up. Tremors is one of those series that has multiple sequels.
yeah.
They're just as good as the original.
Yeah,
just as
they're
each
all
one.
good. Like they all have their own unique things.
Kevin Bacon
Yeah.
acted his butt off in that.
Oh, yeah.
for sure.
But so that's I enjoy it too. So
And that's where I kind of got like we talked about earlier. Is like on creature features, there's certain things like the mist and stuff like that. Like I was kind of trying to bring it up with you all. Like, do you consider those to be creature features, like the mist or?
So we did talk about this, and Landshark had a point. He said he wouldn't consider it. It's more paranormal.
Yeah.
I'm going to go on the opposite. I'm agreeing with you, but check that. They're all creatures.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if they're paranormal or just regular creatures. They're still a creature.
Okay.
It's just like a blurred line.
Well,
So it's kind
so
of.
if I'm getting outvoted, had to keep the fire going. If I'm getting outvoted, let's talk about the mist. Because now listen, I said I didn't think it was a creature feature. What I do think, that is an outstanding movie with a very underrated actor in Thomas Jane.
Oh yeah.
Listen, I loved him as the Punisher. I didn't like his Punisher movie. It was more the instigator than the Punisher. But he did do a fan-made movie that he made himself,
Dirty Laundry.
Dirty Laundry, where he was revising his role as Frank Castle. Listen, it's only 15, 20 minutes. It's on YouTube. He paid for it and done it himself, and it was outstanding. And to me, he was one of the shining moments in that horrible Predator movie that came out a few years ago.
Yeah.
So I love Thomas Jane.
But
Let's talk about The Mist. That was a great flick. I'll let you lead that one off, big boy. Let's talk about that.
Like I said, that's one of the things. Is like, where do you go on the creature features? Like, how far are you going to go? Because The Mist is like hands down one of the greatest, films I think as far.
That ending?
Yeah.
That ending?
That is
it's
the
like-
most epic ending
Yeah.
I've ever seen in a movie.
Yeah, like it's like, I mean, that's
hurts
that's
some
one of the
feelings.
things. It's like
Dude,
It hurts some
just like you
It
feelings.
hurts
said
your soul.
just like you said earlier with the storyline. It's like it leaves you there,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh man, like what?
oh,
And once again, we are the
I
U.S.
just
government.
killed my
We're
whole
here to help.
family and it was over right off the bat.
yeah. So it's like, but that's one, and then Silent Hill's like another. Is this a creature feature? Is it not a creature feature? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Start to blur some lines.
You're starting to blur a lot of lines on that, but I can go more on Silent Hills. Like I said, that's more of a paranormal aspect of that.
so that is the paranormal aspect. So
So and then with the
what
Mist.
about Pumpkinhead?
Okay, so this guy's gonna say my shit on my show. We'll talk about my stuff on my show.
I mean,
Pumpkinhead is one of the most yes, my
Yes,
friend,
yeah.
I call it a creature feature.
definitely.
The demon
Okay.
of
All right, now we're back on
revenge.
track, baby.
The demon of revenge. Pumpkinhead. You've watched it a few times,
Oh,
right,
yeah.
baby boy? Okay, listen, man. This movie. If you haven't seen it, I forget the actor. He's what is his name? He's been in he was in the Predator series. He's the only dude that's been killed by a predator and an alien. Oh man, he passed away just not long ago. But anyways, I know there's some sequels to
You're
this movie.
talking Bill Paxton?
No.
Ray.
We'll have to Google that.
Yeah, anyways.
It's worth the Google. Listen, this Pumpkinhead, man, was very underrated. One of those movies again that didn't rely on CG. It relied on the puppeteering. It relied on acting. The story alone on this was just epic. It's about a demon that you can conjure up to revenge things that's went wrong in your life, but once you conjure it, you have no control over it. And Dude, at Pumpkinhead.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's one of those things when we get to talking about this, we do it all the time. We'll talk about, hey, we're going to talk about this, we're going to talk about that, and then we get in the heat of the moment and get on camera and kind of forget this and forget that. And,
Well, that's why I dropped off, trying to go back and forth on what is and what isn't. And I was like, I definitely have to pull this out because I knew
yes,
Pumpkinhead is hands down like.
that's a creature. I
Yeah,
mean, because
yeah,
he
It's
is
one-
a supernatural entity, but when he shows up, you see almost a xenomorph with a demon face, really.
yeah.
And he takes buckshot, takes some slug. I've seen him take 357, and he keeps coming at you.
Yeah.
Since we got a beagle running over here in the woods. Listen, the neighbors has been shooting. It's untailing what you might hear tonight, but a very, very, very underrated flick. I think it was mid to early '80s that it first aired.
Yeah.
Was first put out. Is about a dad whose son gets killed by some kids just out riding motorcycles, and it was an accident. But they try to cover it up. They left the kid for dead. Dad finds it, takes it to a old witch in the woods, who then conjures up the demon, and all kinds of fun ensues. All kinds of death ensues, and was just a really, really good movie, man. I'm glad you brought that up. It's a very good flick.
Definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah, Pumpkinhead's up there with me, and being one of my favorites also. So I'm glad that one got
I
brought up.
definitely add that to like the icons, if you will.
Oh yeah,
of-
the most iconic creatures that you can see. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, he's been around as long as you're. I mean, he's got a lot of. He's another one that's got a lot of sequels and a lot of. A lot of
Really,
different
he's
movies.
he's one of the top creatures that not everybody really knows about. But if you ever look at the list, who's in the top 10? He's in there in the top
Oh yeah,
10.
definitely.
I mean, so. He's up there. I mean, not even the top 10. That dude's in the top 5.
That's what
what I
I'm
was
saying.
gonna say,
I
almost
you
top-
never see a top 10 list about Pumpkinhead being in it.
No,
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, you're right, and that's kind of some BS, man. Cause
It's weird, ain't it?
yeah, because I mean, everybody knows him, and then actually, a good friend of mine, we were a dude that I trained with. We were talking back and forth the other night, and I don't know if y'all have ever watched it, but the classic, The Phantasm, about the tall man, and then
Yep.
we was talking about that. Like, it don't get talked about in horror movie circles enough.
Yeah.
And it's a really, really good horror flick, man. So, Pumpkinhead, creature feature, yes.
Yes.
Mist, creature feature, yes. Put those up there. Those are good. I mean, because in the Mist, I mean, they're giant bugs, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Giant insects. That is the definition of a creature.
Yes, it is.
So, I mean, that's a really good bring up, and I mean, very underrated movie.
So what about one that's kind of like a controversial one, right? Is it Cloverfield? Some people are, some people aren't.
Right. So
I feel like there was two different
Okay,
reactions.
I absolutely,
on both sides.
I absolutely love the Cloverfield Lane with John Goodman in it.
Yes,
that was
yes.
a really, really good flick. It really was.
how are you gonna label this? And I want you to hear your reasoning why, because I feel like this movie is more of an extraterrestrial, UFO, extra dimensional.
Okay,
thing.
okay, so you're saying extra dimensional, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if you're saying extra dimensional, I want to get both of y'all's opinion on this. So if you're saying a dimensional is something that plays in, that means that Pacific Rim, those kaijus off of there, are not creatures because they come from a different dimension.
True.
Okay, yes, I get what you're saying, but I felt like Cloverfield was more as like they were coming over here to eventually take it over.
Right, and I mean, and they
while they were primitive creatures, they're here basically like
you really do get this alien feel
Yes.
with
Yeah.
Cloverfield Lane. You really do. Oh man, that's that.
but
Listen,
that bug scene.
come in here and start some problems. All right. I mean,
I mean, here's the thing: you see, like when you see like the backdrops of the city, you see the giant creatures, and you can see like the almost terraforming aspect that they're trying to do to the planet.
Right.
I was like, okay, it's extraterrestrial, but when they're in that subway tunnel, those damn crickets coming after them.
Right,
I'm
right.
like, okay, hold up, what are we getting here? You know?
right. Okay, so that's why we do these things.
Yeah.
We like a good little back and forth. We always don't get to do that. Like
Yeah.
we argue about the Glock in the 1911 frame.
That's why I try to bring in some controversy.
Now
to
we
that.
got some drama to the
Yeah,
show.
I tried to.
Let us know out there in the comments what you all think. What's your idea of creature features? What's your idea of extraterrestrial? What's the difference?
Yeah,
Is there a difference?
What falls in lines
You know,
between this and that?
So I had a good supervisor that, as you know, we take the kids to Dollywood once every year. We was arguing on Hall one night at the hotel. We have to sit out and kind of do our thing. Jaws kept coming up in every list of horror movie things. And he doesn't think that Jaws is a horror movie. Now, does it scare me? No. Do I think it's a great flick? Yes. It's part of the land shark deal. I love sharks. But he said, I know he looked at me one time and he said, Bubba, if this list has Jaws on it, there's going to be an iPhone-sized hole through that window over there. Because he just didn't believe it. And then that's when we come up with horror and then branches off horror.
Yeah.
So you got
branches for sure.
let's go creatures, and then you've got creature features. You got branches off that, man. Because a lot of people might not consider Dracula to be a creature. I do.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Right.
Like Dracula, the Frankenstein, anything the older things like that, the swamp monsters.
Yeah. And by the way, we need another really cool Frankenstein movie.
Yeah, we do. But, going back to that, that Jaws, he's saying he doesn't like it as being on a horror. I think that's a generational thing. Because when you brought up Dracula, I was just thinking, my dad was telling me that when he first watched that, when Bela Lugosi's first laugh in there, when he watched it when he was younger, he said that terrified him for weeks.
Right.
It's just stuff like that. So that's a generational thing. That's why, Jaws kept people from swimming in the ocean for months.
Oh, yeah.
And
so you got to think about then being in the time.
Yeah.
Imagine being in that time and then watching that, and then you know what I mean.
And then what's your definition of horror? Something that scares you.
Yeah, exactly. Something that makes you feared in an everyday circumstance. Like you didn't want to go to the beach, you didn't want to go out.
Yeah.
Hell, I didn't even want to go to a lake.
Right. Well, I've said it before on the podcast. I've said it before. I don't think I've done it since we've been on YouTube, but the Candyman ruined my 1993. It really did. I couldn't look at a mirror for the whole summer. So, what scares you? And that's what would be horror. I know folks that still think "Are You Afraid of the Dark?" from Nickelodeon.
Some of that, some of the
Goosebumps, are scary.
Definitely.
To me, those are entertaining. Very, very entertaining.
Yeah.
Especially the new Tales from the Crypt. Yeah.
I mean, all that. Yeah.
So, what scares you?
Yeah.
And that's what horror is. So, get in our comments, man. Hit up Big Jake. Say something to Big Jake in our comments. Say something to us. Let us know what is a creature feature to you. Let us know if we missed something. Let us know that if we've looked over a creature feature that...
Oh, yeah. I feel like we could name off. Like, we could go on for hours, honestly.
I do too. I do too.
Things.
I feel like there's a...
Like Silent Hill? Did we say that earlier?
Yeah, you was talking about that a little bit earlier.
Silent Hill.
So you believe that it's more paranormal. Now, listen, I'm not going to sit here and be Mr. Know-It-All. I don't have a lot of backdrop and a lot of history to talk about Silent Hill.
Yeah.
So I won't. I don't know the whole...
The Hills Have Eyes?
Yeah, okay, so
like that.
are those creatures, are those... yeah.
At what point does a mutation of a human turns into a creature?
Exactly. Toxic Avenger.
Watch
out for
Toxic Avenger.
Watch out for
I was going to drop that one too.
Yeah, watch out for the new Toxic Avenger.
It.
I don't know if y'all know it. I think in 2024 we're getting Peter Dinklage as Toxic coming back, and Traumaville's Toxic Avenger.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow, stoked for that one. We got some movies coming out, and so that's going to be a good little transition. Glad you said that.
Yep.
Good little transition into something I want to talk about.
Okay.
And I know you're a fan. Let's talk a little bit, since we have one this October, Friday the 13th. My Heart and Soul, Mr. Jason Voorhees. So I've been on a lot of boards, been reading, been doing a lot of researching. Next year, Peacock is releasing a Camp Crystal Lake prequel.
Oh, so we're getting Mother Voorhees and all that?
We're getting Mother Voorhees, and it's not a one thing. It's not just a movie. You're getting a series of Camp Crystal Lake. There's going to be some Jason. There's going to be some Jason's dad, which is going to be really interesting. If you know any Jason lore from the comic books, from the graphic novels, the dad is a very interesting character.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're getting that.
Hey, you're blowing my mind right now. I didn't even know there's a dad aspect to this.
There's a dad
yeah.
aspect to it.
Hold
Yeah.
up.
So,
We got to rewind this back here. Enlighten Kung Fu Panda here. On this.
okay, so the dad was apparently a cult member. Murder runs in the family, but the dad's bloodline years and years and years and years ago, and the Voorhees bloodline said that the strongest boy belonged to the devil. So, and he done this through the Book of the Dead. So it from Evil Dead fame, the Book of the Dead. Everybody knows what that is. He owned it. There is actually a page in it, I guess, that's supposed to be about the Voorhees family. It doesn't go so much into that in the Ash lore, Army of Darkness lore, but if you've watched the new Evil Dead, it's the second book. It's not the book from Ash and them.
Yeah.
It's the second book. So it's not the same one. So there's a book out there that's got the Voorhees family in it because Jason's a deadite. Jason is the hitman. Jason is the devil's John Wick, pretty much.
Yeah.
And he was sold by the dad, so the dad could have like I forgot what it was even for, man. I'd have to go back into it. But either way, the dad was an asshole himself. Left Pamela with Jason when Jason was born because Jason was born defective with all this stuff going on. Didn't know that he had a strong heart, had a strong will, which caused him to become who he is. So go forward.
Yeah.
There's actually a really good YouTube series. I think they're called Womp Stomp Productions that does fan-made Jason movies.
Wow.
And it's called Never Hike Alone. Check it out. Epic. And there's one that says Never Hike Alone in the Snow. It's only 35 minutes, but it touches on Jason Voorhees' father, which the new Peacock series is going to. And you're going to get a real Marilyn Manson-ish cult feel to it.
Yep.
But it really goes into like
Sounds dope.
Yeah, it's going.
I
I swear, I think
so
it's
you're
going to be
telling
really
me
dope.
we're going to get a Voorhees Firefly family going on.
Almost it is what I'm hoping for. If they touch it and do it right, you're really getting that Voorhees Firefly from the Rob Zombie Three from Hell series. Which is one of our. How many times have we watched that together?
Yeah.
We've watched what was the second one? I'm sorry.
Devil's Rejects.
We've watched the
Rejects.
Devil's Rejects. When we played ball together, it was every other day. We coming over? Yeah, we're going to have that Spanish lasagna, Spanish Mexican lasagna, and watching Three from Hell.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, Devil's Rejects. Listen, Peacock is doing some big things in the horror movie genre.
Yeah, I feel like they are. Like I feel like Peacock is where a lot of things are dropping.
Peacock and actually Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
Yep. Get those two apps, y'all, and then get Shudder. It's October. You should have Shudder anyway. They do 24, 365, nothing but horror movies, and then this month is nothing but slasher style.
Yep.
Good B generic cheesy ass movies that we all know and love.
Mm-hmm. And I want to know what your favorite Jason Voorhees mask is. Which movie?
Oh wow!
Which one
Okay,
is your
so
favorite one?
all right, bring us some questions.
Fan
to
interaction. Bring it in the comments.
Yeah, come in the comments.
You
Let
got
us know.
one? Do you got
I
one?
do. I
I got one because it's the very first Jason movie I ever saw.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have to go with the New Blood.
Okay.
I like that one with that look, and I also like the fact that also psychic chicks in there. It's a baddie.
Yeah,
you know?
and listen, that's actually Kane Hodder, I believe. I think Kane played that one.
Yeah.
Kane is a legend in the horror movie world. God bless that man. He's brought us some great flicks. He's been in some great movies.
Got to have some drinks with him.
Yeah, you've actually got to meet
Humble
him.
brag.
Yeah, humble brag. He's got to meet the man. And Kane's he seems like a great human being from anything you read of him, dude. Just started off as a stunt man and then got in. I love him as Jason because he's ferocious.
Oh yeah.
You see his aggression come out as the actor, as Jason Voorhees. What about you? What's your favorite Jason?
Oh man, honestly, probably the one that attaches to me most personally is the New York one.
So Jason Takes Manhattan, who is definitely,
Yeah, Takes
definitely
Manhattan.
Kane Hodder.
Yeah, definitely. That mask, for some reason, I don't know why. If it's just
That's the one where he kind of sneaks in and steals it while
Yeah.
they're in the
Yeah.
boat having
Yeah.
relations,
Yeah.
and he steals it and puts it on. Yeah. Did nobody try to box him and get thrown off the roof or
All
whatever?
right, come
Yeah.
on, give me your best shot.
Yeah.
it just sticks out to me as like, being younger and kind of. That's one of the ones that like I consistently watched when I was.
And listen, I actually I told Hammerhead in there we're going to watch some Jason this week
Oh yeah, we're definitely watching Jason.
because you got a Friday the 13th in October right around the corner.
12 days.
That is so awesome. So for me, it's Jason Part 6, Jason Lives, where Tommy Jarvis brings him back to life.
Yeah.
I love that. It was that's. I'm an '80s baby, and that was you had some good rock in that.
Yeah.
You had some dope kills, and he had the cowboy style brown leather gloves that I've used all my life working on the farm or whatever, and it was corny, it was cheesy, but that was your first view into zombie Jason.
Yep.
And that's the view of from when Jason come back from hell and starts being that dude, being that next level slasher that we all fell in love with. I think because everybody you talk to appreciates the early Jasons.
Oh yeah.
Everybody loves zombie
the
Jason.
zombie Jason.
Everybody loves zombie
It's a whole
Jason.
new level.
Yeah, so
sure.
and then all those are good ones, man. The telekinesis, that
Yeah.
chick, the little party scene. There was some really cool deaths. The old buddy that catches the meat cleaver to the face
yeah.
in the house and that, and then of course, Jason Takes Manhattan is the first Jason outside of New Jersey.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, and you had him in the there was
And
some.
in an environment that was not. You
Yeah,
know, so it
when
was
when
like-
old dude's just walking down the street and kicks the boombox out of the way, I love that. There was some cheese to. There's cheese to every Jason.
Oh,
movie.
yeah, for sure.
Especially like I said, the one I like. I think it came out in '86, and I remember old boy listening to Alice Cooper's "I'm a Teenage Frankenstein,"
Yeah.
just jamming out in the RV. And the way that Jason emerges after he kills him, man, just sets a new level. You got Tommy Jarvis doing his thing in it, and you can go on all night about Jason flicks, man.
Oh, 100%.
And listen, hopefully next episode we'll have an entirety of Jason because, like I said, you got Friday the 13th coming around. We got some guests coming up.
Yep.
We still got some guests coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Well, hopefully we'll have Big Man back on before the end of the month. We got the annual Land Shark Halloween party this year.
That I've already decided we're going to film the
We're gonna
inside
film-
of this.
The costumes are
Stay
going to be
tuned
epic.
for some
Costumes
really
are going
neat
to be epic.
costumes.
So you've missed the last two. You got to come to this one. Make sure the costume's epic.
Yeah, I'm trying to work on a actually Jason outfit.
Okay, so there we go.
So,
and
Let's
listen,
see what it looks like.
if
Let's see what it turns out to
if
be.
if a 7-footer can't pull off Jason, nobody can pull off
Oh, yeah.
Jason. All right.
If that's the case, he's going to tell his. Should we go ahead and tease ours?
I
I kind of want to keep mine a little bit hidden.
Mine's not so. Mine's a little more simple this year. I've went as Eric Draven's The Crow. Last year I was a graphic novel version of Van Helsing. The wife was a vampire. The year before, when I was The Crow, she actually pulled off a really good Catwoman. We had a friend that come as Poison Ivy and whatever. This year we're going back comic books. I'll go ahead and put mine out there. I don't care. The wife is going to be Rogue from the X-Men. And I'm going to be the man himself, Bub. I'm going to be Old Man Logan.
Oh, yeah.
Wolverine. We've got the
dig it.
claws ordered. We've got
dig
some
it.
really cool. I'm putting the hair down, leather jacket, cigar. I'm already been made fun of because I don't like cigars. I'm going to be chewing on a Swisher Sweet.
Damn, Logan got a blunt.
It's not going to be no big stick or no stogie or nothing. I'm going to be chewing on something generic because I have a weak stomach. I'm sissy. Listen, Stabs has been letting me in on your alls. I'm seeing what she's doing.
He's freaked out.
I'm
He
scared.
says, I don't think that it doesn't, y'all can't come to the
No.
party if this is what's going to
Oh.
happen.
The damn book's not coming in the house. I know that. So this chick, can I say
Go
her
ahead,
part?
go ahead.
Can I say what she sent me
Go
since
ahead,
I'm
go
an
ahead.
outsider looking
Go
in?
ahead.
Listen, she had, Stabs is all that artist, right?
Yep.
She has put together a Book of the Dead. This thing is spooky looking. She is coming as a female Ashley J. Williams,
Yeah.
and my man's coming as a Deadeye.
Oh yeah.
So they were
awesome.
done the whole Top Gun thing last
Yep.
year, which was good. The year before, it was kind of like they threw theirs together. He comes.
That was a last-minute
It was a
thing.
last minute thing, but she's had some time to put into this. She come as a dope Freddy though.
Yeah.
She had the real claw. We done a photo shoot. She put the claws across my head. I think I licked the claw. I don't know how to dive, so yeah, you definitely got to get the Jason down,
Yeah,
man.
I'm working on it.
So hopefully, when we do the after episode of that, you get to see some really cool clips. We'll have to edit it here and there because kids get on here and watch, and we don't want everything on there that's going on. But it's going to be a really, really fun time, and it's going to be really, really epic because it's the epic time of the year. I mean, look at it out here. It's I love this month. I love
beautiful.
the month of October, and it's just getting started, man.
Yeah.
So I hope this month kind of pumps the brakes and slows down a little bit, lets us enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, moving on. We're almost done for the night, but hey, equipment of the week time. And I'm sitting over here by them, so I'm going to hand off
Yeah.
my man's equipment of the week and talking Mr. Jason Voorhees.
Oh yeah.
Set back. Talking Mr. Friday the 13th.
So, what I brung out here today, and I know Big Jake here is going to fall in love with this. I got right here a machete in a style that looks just like Jason Voorhees. Go ahead and put that in your hand.
Okay. Oh yeah.
That's not a machete now. I just turned it into a knife. But,
It was a machete for the monster got a hold of it.
yeah. So,
Yeah, this is awesome.
very good equipment. Honestly, in general, because we're big survivalists. Bushwhacking, this is what you need. You get to go through brush and stuff like that.
Especially in the state of Kentucky. I mean,
Yeah.
Actually, the dog running around lets me know sometime this week I got to go up and make sure my signs are still hung up and nobody's doing anything stupid on my property. But you got to have a machete for that.
Yeah, you got to get through brush. Also, that just in general, you can get clearing out brush just to get your campsite stuff like that. Or if you really want to, go find a bunch of teenagers having sex at a campground and you want to have a little bit of revenge. Yeah.
Booyah! And I mean, listen, it's multi-purpose.
Oh yeah.
You can kill snakes with it, which end up being food.
Have you had snake?
Yeah, I've had rattlesnake. A little too gamey for me, and it was weird eating something I'm afraid of.
Yeah.
So
I like it.
it was a little gamey for me, but I've had snake before. But I mean, you could do several things with it. You could, like you said,
It's a good aspect of that because it's reach.
right?
Because a knife's always usually handy, but sometimes you don't need to really need to get that close to something.
Right.
You got reach and be able to work it off at a distance.
And then cut timber with it, cut firewood with it.
Kudzu.
Yeah,
Kudzu around.
Yeah, so
Sometimes.
yeah, and brawlers. Let's talk about it. Kentucky Woodlands brawlers.
Hey, don't forget about camp counselors. It's very good at cutting them open.
And then we camp cancel. That camp counselor that ain't doing what they're supposed to. As Mr. Pamela
Don't get a
Voorhees
laugh a
would
little bit harder.
do. As
I
Miss
thought that was
Pamela
funny.
Voorhees would do. Okay, so now time for my piece of equipment of the week. I'm sticking with the blades, but I'm going more my people. I'm going more frontier style. I'm going with a Cherokee style pipe tomahawk. And before y'all get to thinking, it's real. It does work. That is Damascus steel.
Oh yeah.
It don't just sit in the house propped up. It sits in the house where I can get to it. If I go in the woods, this thing goes in the woods. I've got one other that the wife bought me. I used to have 3. I broke 2 of them, threw them away just because of the individual that purchased it for me. So I have one more that the wife bought me. This one is one the wife bought me. They do get used. And now, guys, check the weight on that. Let these folks at home know that that's not a toy.
Yeah,
That's not a problem.
This is a real
That's not
deal.
a tomahawk no more. That's a hand axe.
Yeah,
Compared to
this
his hand.
is a real
Hey,
deal.
listen, y'all seen the videos. Y'all know Landshark throws. Guess what? I throw with that, and I've stuck with that. So most of my axes I can hit 3 out of 5. I'm hitting that one 2 to 3 out of 5. And yes, when the day is done and the day is long, if you got yourself some tobacco, it still works. You can still hit it right out of there. It works just as good. There is a little dirt in it where I have been practicing and throwing it. But that is my piece of equipment of the week is the Cherokee Tomahawk. Or you can say frontier style tomahawk because of you know, we're talking Kentucky. Let's talk Daniel Boone.
Oh yeah.
Use this thing, okay? So this is a piece of Kentucky lore right here, and that is my piece of equipment of the week. So, hey, we've been on here for a minute.
Yep.
We appreciate y'all checking in. This to me, this has been it's been one of my favorites, man. We can sit here. I always love it when Big Man can stop by. I always love it when Big
Appreciate
Jake's
you
here.
having me.
Hey,
Glad to come by. Always.
listen, go check out the videos. You got them all over YouTube, right?
Oh yeah, it's all on YouTube.
You got a plug you want to do
You
for?
can you can subscribe to somewhere on Appalachian Mountain Wrestling. You can find it online. They're setting it up, do live pay-per-views, all that good stuff. Keep up with me on Facebook, Big Rig Jake Break, Instagram, Big Rig Jake Break. Anything, I mean, hit me up. I can do, we'll do anything, you know, wrestling, acting, horror movies, anything. We can do it.
So, and I mean, I know he's been a bodyguard for the likes of Tony Todd. Had a few beverages with the great Kane Hodder.
Yeah, bodyguard.
Man's been around.
Drinking buddy.
Played a little D line for me when I was playing linebacker. So he got his hands in everything. All right, go check out Big Jake's stuff. Go out and see these local wrestling events, man. Put some money into the local folks that are trying. You know, that's what we're doing. You know, we ain't wanting money for what we do. We want your likes. We want your subscribes. We want your comments. We want your support on the You of the Tubes. Ain't that right, Mr. Kung Fu?
Oh, yes, sir. Go ahead and give a warning out to the folks. We're probably going to stay away from Spotify for a while. Having a lot of trouble trying to upload, so we're going to stick with YouTube for at least quite a little bit.
Right.
And that's where you get to see us actually in person. And we like that. We like this way better.
And watch us. Watch out. We've talked about it. Watch us coming to TikTok.
Yep.
We're going to come to TikTok. We're going to start doing some shorts, whether it be us running from Bigfoot or us just training, doing some prepping style survivalist stuff. So it's out there. Hopefully we can put up some more little videos as the week goes. Maybe you see Jason. Maybe you get to see him choke slam somebody.
Yeah, right over here.
Don't know. Our editing guru over here take care of that.
Yep.
Listen, we appreciate y'all coming in. Look for the next couple of episodes are getting ready to be epic. So we're getting ready to do some haunted houses. We're getting ready to have some people come in that do haunted houses going to come in as guests on the show. We're getting ready to have the annual Landshark Halloween party. We're going to have a hour or so long episode of nothing but horror and killing horror villains with weapons. A lot of weapons.
A lot of weapons.
A lot of weapons. So that stuff's coming in the next coming weeks. Hey, we're getting ready to sign off. You can see the sun's going down. We need to tend to the fire. Maybe have a couple of adult waters. You know, we're going to hang out a little while, kick it for the night. This is your boy Landshark. As always, I'm saying it's better to need it or have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Y'all thought I was going to mess that up, didn't you? So you better go and grab it. This is your boy Landshark signing off.
This is your boy Kung Fu Panda. Always remember, folks, time to sleep. Big Jake, any last words?
Rock and roll. Woo!